All right, welcome everyone to the next episode of Alexploring. Today we are in Worthington, Ohio, exploring some of the historical markers here on this beautiful Monday in early March. Our first stop is at Jeffers Mound. Here's a little bit more about it. Archaeologists believe that this prehistoric mound, part of a complex of earthworks, was used for rituals by the Hopewell people and was probably built between 100 BC and 400 AD. Note the painted post tops marking the Hopewell pole house print. We'll see that in a minute. The mound is recorded on the National Register of Historic Places and was given to the Worthington Historical Society in 1974. In memory of Herman Pleasanton Jeffers. Jeffers being the name of the mound, and then Pleasanton being the name of the street that it's on. But as you can see, it's a large mound right here in the middle of this neighborhood in Worthington. But it's been here for nearly 2,000 years. This has been sitting here. And then right here, these little blocks here in this outline is where the building was for the Hopewell Indians. You can see all these markers, these wood posts that show exactly where this house is. And this historical markers different because it is bolted onto this big rock here, but gives it a nice shot here of the sign, the mound, and the outline of the pole house footprints. So right here, tucked in Columbus, Ohio, this 2-millennium-year-old mound left by the Hopewell Indians. All right, I'm here in front of the Snow House here in historic Worthington. Worthington was founded in 1803. It was one of the first communities here in central Ohio. The Snow House here is right across the street from the Worthington Historical Society, which is where we'll find our next historical marker. Okay, so I'm here at the corner of High Street and New England Avenue. And we have the Worthington Inn, which was established in 1831. And, has been going ever since. They have a bar and restaurant. But we're going across the street here to the historical marker right over there. I never really knew how much of New England that Worthington takes inspiration from in the architecture, but I definitely see it now that I can understand a little bit about the history of the city. So here we've made it to the Worthington Masonic Museum. Currently houses a yoga and wellness studio, Radiant. But you can see this was chartered in 1803, the same year that Ohio became a state and Worthington became a community. But Worthington was a center of the masonry for the central Ohio area in the early years of the 19th century. New England Lodge, with its original charter from the Grand Lodge of Connecticut dated 1803, is the oldest lodge in continuous existence in Ohio. This building, erected in 1820, is the oldest Masonic temple west of the Allegheny Mountains. See all the way up there, the Masonic inscription. The building was built in 1820. Nice little spot here. So across the street here you can see some guys doing some work, but that's the Ripley House. It's another museum here in Worthington that we'll have to check out another time. Obviously they're doing work around it, but the Ripley House, there it is. So this is like my first time in uptown Worthington. I can't believe that I have never been here before, but yeah, all these buildings are very New England inspired and kept very well done. Here are a lot of boutiques and these old stores. The Old Bag of Nails pub. The original, it's a lot different than around here, but see the small little alleyways, barber shop. Worthington Tavern here has some outdoor seating. There's some bowl for water for your dog. It'll be a beautiful day to sit outside here. Oh, but we have run into some information here about James Kilbourne, who founded Worthington in 1803. This plaque was put here by the Worthington Historical Society. But you can see he was a man of many different hats: surveyor, deacon, innkeeper, publisher, mayor, legislator, militiaman, manufacturer, educator, explorer. He had 12 children too. Busy man. But this is right here at the old Worthington Hotel. Interesting stuff here. It's now a Howard Hanna real estate agent. So moving on to our across the street to the next historical marker, we have the Worthington Historic District. We're pretty much right here at the corner of 161 and High Street, which is Route 23. But Worthington was founded in 1803 by the Scioto Company, settlers from Connecticut. A major proponent of Ohio statehood, the town was named after Thomas Worthington. He was one of the first governors of Ohio, but he was a major proponent of Ohio statehood. The original plat included a 3.5-acre village green, bounded on the east by an 1.5-acre school and church lot. The green was surrounded by 160 residential and commercial lots, each measuring 3/4 of an acre. By 1812, when the British started coming back, Worthington was a finalist for designation as the capital of Ohio, which the state had multiple before settling on Columbus. The Worthington Historic District has evolved over more than 200 years from the center of a small village to the hub of a suburban community. The district includes numerous architectural styles: Federal, Greek Revival, Gothic Revival, Queen Anne, American Foursquare, Colonial Revival, Cape Cod, and vernacular styles. The Worthington Historic District, framed by north, south, morning, and evening streets, encompasses the original village. The district was added to the National Register of Historic Places in 2010. Alright, so we're going to continue on and walk to our next historical marker. And it looks like it's over here by this stone building here. It's an absolutely beautiful day. They got cornhole set up here. If people weren't working, like if this was a weekend, this would be a pop-in place. But this is a church. St. John's Church, Episcopal. Episcopal. Alright, so here we are. St. John's Church of Worthington and parts adjacent. In October of 1803, members of the Scioto Company, led by James Kilbourne, came from Connecticut and founded Worthington. On February 6, 1804, the Articles of Agreement establishing St. John's Church of Worthington were executed. St. John's, which had planned in Connecticut prior to the company's departure, became the first Episcopal church established in the Northwest Territory and served as the founding church for several Episcopal churches in Ohio. James Kilbourne served as the church's first deacon. Reverend Philander Chase, the first rector of St. John's, became the first Episcopal Bishop of Ohio and founded Kenyon College. So just north of here for about an hour and a half. St. John's Church and Graveyard are listed on the National Register of Historic Places. So here's some more about the church and graveyard. This Gothic Revival style church was completed in 1831. The first settlers brought an altar, which is still in use. A bell brought with the settlers served the early school and church in a log cabin located on the northeast quadrant of the village green. Today, the bell is in the bell tower of Kilbourne Middle School. The present church bell was purchased in Pittsburgh and first tolled here in 1833. The church graveyard was established with the burial of Captain Abner Penny on November 23, 1804, and served as the community burial ground in the early 19th century. James Kilbourne is buried in the graveyard. There are 317 burials, including 5 Revolutionary War and 7 War of 1812 veterans. So we're going to have to go check out that cemetery for sure. Alright, so we're walking down this part of the street here. The cemetery is right here, so we're going to go ahead and take a look. We'll find James Kilbourne's grave and maybe some of the other veterans here and other early Worthington settlers. So you can see there's a multitude of conditions of the graves. Has some ones that are completely withered, some more withered, and some that are kept looking really well, like this one. Bella Tuller, born in 1773 and died in 1821. Bunch of children here as well. See, there's different types. There's even, kind of an above ground one here. Looks like his wife was here. They had an infant that died in 1824. Some really old graves here. It goes all the way up until the AC unit. Here's Charles Edward Burr. From Connecticut. This is one of the men who came in as part of the company that founded Worthington. But here you can see here Abner Penny, drummer of the 18th Connecticut Militia, Revolutionary War. You can see that he has his own little marker here. He was 54 years old when he died in 1804. Not long after Ohio became a state. There's some really big stones here. Almost as tall as I am. Here's Levi Boodles, a native of Hartford County, Connecticut. Died in 1805. One of the oldest cemeteries I've been in for sure. Here's some like a mausoleum type area. You see all sorts of conditions. This one has definitely gone better because it is up against the wall of this church. Here's another really cool looking one. This person, Asahel Wright, came from Providence, Rhode Island. Got bulbs coming out. It's an absolutely beautiful day. Early March here in Ohio. Can't ask for anything better. Here we got a Revolutionary War vet and then a War of 1812 vet. And then look at the font on this one. I love this one. This person was Anna here was the wife of Judge William Thompson. She lived to be 90 years old. Died in 1845. Still keeping my eye out for James Kilbourne. So every stone in here is at least 200 years old, it feels like. Noah Comstock there. And his wife. And even in these bushes there's a Revolutionary War soldier right here, actually. Lamel Orton. Yeah, this cemetery is very old. Nicely kept though. It's pretty immaculate and an extraordinary spot here in Worthington. Here's some more children, actually. Not to be morbid or anything. In memory of William Maltby, born in 1768, and then he died 1835 at the age of 67. It's kind of crazy how long these people were living at this time. Yeah, this guy died when he was 28, and estimated. Seems George and Lydia. Wife of Colonel Penny. But no James Kilbourne just yet. He might be closer up to the front there. So let's head on over that way. So this grave has just been crumbling and they've put him together here. A 9-year-old is buried there. And this is Cowles. Is it this tall one? No, Elvira Tuller. see what's on that side. More of the Pennies, though. Abner Penny's family here. Let's see. No. There's some Griswolds here, though. Maybe this giant one. Yes, this has got to be. War of 1812 here. Yep, here. To the memory of the Honorable James Kilbourne. Most of this script is not even readable here. But I could tell you why I knew this was his, because right here is Mary Kilbourne. Next is their 11th month old child here, or 14-year-old child, sorry. Yeah, but this is where James Kilbourne eternally lays. Let's head on out to our next stop. This is a really cool cemetery right in the middle of historic Worthington. As we are walking out past a Revolutionary soldier, Israel Case, 1757 to 1815. This was placed by the Columbus chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution. And there's one more. This is a War of 1812 veteran here. But as you can see, the writing has eroded from this plot. So one last veteran, a couple of veterans here to recognize and make our way out. So from here we're going to go back to our car. The next markers are just a little bit north of here, so we will head up that way and continue to celebrate Worthington's history here in Columbus, Ohio. I want to apologize here ahead of time. My fuzzy thing fell off of my mic, so there might be picking up some wind here. But the Sayeta Company Grand Worthington in 1802 became a state. The Sayeta Company was organized as a land company in 1802 with 38 original the Olentangy River for $1.25 per acre. The name Worthington was adopted in honor of Thomas Worthington, Territorial Land Commissioner, United States Senator, and future Ohio Governor. He advised Kilbourne on the location and recognition for the community. So then Worthington, a planned community. Company proprietors, before their arrival in Ohio, Worthington was established following the New England model. The town formed a grid. Settlers were required to own at least one town lot and a rural tract for farming. Some settlers were designated to operate the first tavern and sawmill, which we saw the tavern, that's where the Worthington Inn is. The church and school were assigned double lots on the square and tracts to farm for their school, subscription library, and Masonic lodge soon followed. Within months, Worthington was a complete New England town so we can definitely tell that by the architecture, But yeah, that's we have another one up, and yeah, we'll hit up that spot next. All right, so our next spot here is the Orange Johnson House. Orange because the color, Johnson because that's who lived there. The not really the color, but we'll read. The original pioneer structure of this house was built by Aurora Boodles in 1811. It was purchased by Orange and Asha Johnson in 1816. Orange Johnson came from Connecticut as a comb maker. He became a farmer, landowner, turnpike commissioner, paymaster for the militia, banker, and railroad stockholder. In 1819, the Federal-style addition was constructed on the west side of the house of the Pioneer House, and the Johnsons continued to live here until 1863. It was restored and owned by the Worthington Historical Society now. Pretty darn cool here. Alright, so we are approaching our final Ohio historical marker here in Worthington. We are gonna come back for sure because there's a museum in here. The Ohio Railway Museum is here, so we're gonna come back and check those out when we have the chance to do so. So we have made it here to this historical marker sign for the Harding Hospital. Initially called the Columbus Rural Rest Home, was founded in 1916 by George T. Harding and his associates, many of whom shared his commitment to service his Seventh-day Advent Christian faith. The Psychiatric Treatment Center moved to Worthington in 1920. The hospital goal to provide treatment with attention to persons' physical, mental, social, and spiritual needs. The program, with its emphasis on relational issues and psychotherapy, drew patients from across Ohio and beyond. In 1936, a residency program in psychiatry for physicians was started, and educational programs for other mental health professionals followed. The campus's beauty contributed to being a place of healing for many. Since '99, Harding Hospital has been a part of the Ohio State University's Wexner Medical Center. So let's see if there's something else on the other side of the hospital. Nope, but that makes for a great lighting on this. So let's take a picture for prosperity, and we'll do our outro. All right, well, thank you for taking this adventure with me today after work, hitting up some of these historical markers throughout Columbus as we attempt to try to go see them all. So with that being said, your journey starts today. History never dies. And with that being said, make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.